Hello, welcome to another WahooWarrior battle report. This is from a match on Saturday. Ryan Carlson, my partner, the Bearded Wonder, had put together at one of the local game stores. He's kind of started establishing a relationship where he's going to start maybe hosting a paint and play once a month. They're very keen on us being there. Becky with the game shop, she's been putting out some feelers where she wants to have some interest with bolt action. She's had people coming in. They're actually selling the miniatures in the store now, and that's located in Western Omaha. And it's nice that they have a nice little play area. John Stanley, one of the local bolt action Nebraska guys, got there early and set up this Pacific Theater board. Bill, who's up there on the top left of the camera right now, he is a brand new player. He's a experienced tournament Kings of War player with multiple armies. I am actually surprised we had never met before. I'm sure we played in some events together when we played Warhammer Fantasy, but so he is learning how to play. And I have to say, he picked up the basics really quickly in the concepts of the game. This isn't normally the setting that I would teach somebody a new game with this giganto board and with kind of this ad hoc scenario. I mean, this board is huge, so we probably should have played something a little bit different. But what we got going on is basically somewhere like maybe French Indochina. We got a little allied seaborne invasion going on. I've got my 800 points of French with John Stanley's 800 points of U.S. Armor Recon against 800 points of Ryan running some Japanese, and then Bill's running a Defense of the East 800 point German list. So we've already kind of started some deployment and drawn some dice here. After we start get going, then I'm kind of making some comments like, wow, we got a long way to go. But if you look at the board, we set up 3 tokens along this little median line, which isn't that far. It's more of a little better view over here. It's not that far, but you're still looking at, man, a good 24 inches. So basically, it would be like trying to get to the enemy's deployment zone. And there's one way back on that mountaintop that we said if we get to that, we automatically win because it's that's really far away. That's like 48 inches away. The rest of the board is kind of irrelevant. It's just so big. So we are coming in at this little beach line, coming in on first wave. Everything coming on first wave. And if you look at the enemy deployment, it's kind of hard to see with all this jungle, but these little tree stands along the bottom left and up to the right, we say that those are dense terrain but clear. You can move through them at a run and whatnot. Wherever there's those hills with the edges, we said that those are rough ground, and you can see all the rocks on top of them. We say it's hard cover, rough ground. And then the giant mountain thing in the middle, we said that is rough ground but light cover. So the enemy Ryan has some Japanese on the far left. Once I get out of the way, I will continue on. He's got a light anti-tank gun in that little clump to the bottom left on that hill. And then he's got another, like a veteran squad behind that middle rock outcropping. And then he's got a regular squad way back there. And he's got one off the board. The Germans in this little broken down pillbox have a 6-man veteran 2 light machine gun squad. And then they've got some more Germans back behind that pillbox in those little wooded stand, medium machine gun team, and some kind of veteran squad. And then they have a regular squad in the center, right behind that rocky outcropping with the light machine gun right on the edge. And then so we're just pulling dice, and I've moved in. I have inexperienced infantry other than my Senegalese. I have a R-39 tank. And then a few odds and ends. But we don't really have a whole big plan. Here I just kind of run this inexperienced squad in. And then Bill's going to trigger an ambush from a light machine gun, which I totally forgot was over there. Then he's also got these light machine guns in this pillbox, which I'm trying to kind of maybe draw their fire. Stanley came in and hit that squad with a HE from that Chafee tank. But it didn't kill them. It did like 2 wounds and 2 pins, but so they're still alive. Then John's got a half track down here with a 6-man veteran squad in it. And then he's also got an armored car. And here's a unit of my Singhalese coming in there.
From lower level to high level, does it?
So, yeah, this match is mostly just for fun. We're also just trying to kind of teach Bill how to play. And from subsequent Facebook conversations, he sounds like he's going to be all in. He ordered some Grenadiers, and he's looking at actually he bought the Grenadiers in the store, which when we play in the store, I always do like trying to support the local stores, because once it starts grabbing on, they provide more stuff, and it's always nice to be able to grab something right there at the store. And then he is setting up he looks like he's interested in making a German paratrooper division or platoon, and then he's going to make a late war Polish because that is his ancestry heritage, was the Polish army. And we discussed that quite a bit. Looks like he's probably going to use the British Army rules for the late war Polish. So yeah, Bill's going to be all in, and we're planning to. He's going to be putting together his Grenadiers that he bought in the store over the next couple weeks, and we're talking about maybe playing some Kings of War as well, because he has mini armies for that. This is, like I said, this isn't normally the way I teach a new player, but he's an experienced gamer, and he kind of picked up the concepts really quickly. So, yeah, I don't really have, as far as my French, I don't really have much of a plan. Me and John did discuss a couple times when we were doing some stuff what we were going to do, and here's a Bill plugging at me with a heavy mortar that he's got way back behind that big hill, but a spotter in the middle. The biggest thing that we had was trying to this Pack 40. We were really worried about that. Oh, so I think I will skip ahead just a little bit. You see here we're like into turn 2, and I've brought my tank in, and then I'm kind of just daring that light anti-tank gun to fire at me. This might actually turn 3, and I'm kind of trying to bait that heavy anti-tank gun to fire at me, needing a 6 to hit, so the Chafee could have free reign to get out and get engaged, other than just sitting back here and firing. Ryan's brought a unit of regular infantry out of that rocky outcrop, and I've got 2 infantry squads opposing it with an inexperienced medium machine gun back there to cover, and then the half track. He wants to get into close combat, and I don't blame him. We see my inexperienced squad on the kind of in the middle to the right there. They've been kind of devastated. I think the heavy mortar hit them, as well as that twin light machine gun unit that was in the pillbox. So they're down to the last 2 guys. Not a good day for them. I've got this unit of Singhalese here behind this rocky outcrop. They're about ready to move up there and start trying to take some pressure off. And then we're kind of bogged down on the beach. I tell you what, this really similar to, like, movies and stuff and accounts that you read online, it's really kind of tough. It's like we've got this dense terrain to screen us, but what's interesting about bolt action is that these guys were putting a lot of their stuff in ambush. So it's like, do you want to move in and trigger that ambush or stay behind it? John does have his armored car pushing up on the far right to try to draw some fire and trigger some ambushes so we can get my Singhalese. And he's got a unit of veterans in that little stand by the Chafee. Here my Singhalese just come up. I think it triggers at least 1 ambush from somewhere. But I can fire some rifles. Ryan had failed a order check with that 1 big squad of regulars. Yeah, here's a light machine gun firing from ambush. But at least I have hard cover here. So it's a nice terrain piece in the middle of the board that I've taken control of. And I fire some shots. I think I need 7s. But man, my tank is kind of engaging his stuff. Really, I'm just kind of the bait. 8 armor all around. But we're counting on an airstrike to try to come in and at least put some pins, if not destroy that Pack 40, as well as there's a regular squad that's on the first level of that hill. And so we're kind of just stalling, waiting for air to arrive, and then the tanks can move out and start to engage targets at a closer range. Although my tank being slow is really punishing. That's a very, very punishing rule. So, just some miscalculated shooting. I think I'll skip ahead again. So right here, Ryan declares a bonsai assault against my inexperienced squad. I do a reactionary fire, and I do so poorly I don't even kill a single guy. He comes into me. He gets to strike first. He's got like 13 guys. This is a big squad. I've only picked off 2. So, yeah, he's killing me on 3s. I'm dead meat. It's just what he's going to do after that. And so he wipes that squad out. I don't even think I get to throw a dice back at him. And then he consolidates. He's there sitting trying to figure out what he's going to do. And he goes like only 3 inches. He was trying to hope for a 6 and maybe try to get more than half his unit behind cover to get away from the medium machine gun. And that half track with a medium machine gun and a heavy machine gun. But you can see didn't quite make it. This inexperienced squad, they've been French are being pummeled. So I'm actually got a point blank shot, needing 2s to hit. Well, 3s because I'm inexperienced. Well, yeah, 2s because 3s because I'm inexperienced, but point blank. And I light these guys up, and I'm actually able to do some damage. But we take off casualties from the back left, so he actually is able to pretty much get his guys hidden from the half track because of that dense terrain, and maybe light cover from the medium machine gun. So at least if you're going to get creamed, take off the guys that are standing in the open.
Look at my ghost. No, that's not the
John's putting some fire down from his armored car against that Japanese squad. They're kind of in the open from it. Here, the light anti-tank gun goes ahead and fires at my tank. He needs like a 3 to hit, but he hits, and it kind of surprises me with a good roll on the penetration and then a good roll on the destruction. So that sucks. I mean, that tank was mainly a decoy. It's not the end of the world, but you know, it always kind of sucks when it dies, especially when there's not a whole lot of opposition anti-tank on the board. So now that leaves the Pack 40 to be able to shoot at the tank. Our airstrike actually was delayed, by the way, so that really sucked. We were planning to, with the new rules, put the airplane on this middle center little rocky outcropping. There's a squad in there, and then there's like a German squad behind it and a lieutenant. So we're going to put that there to cause the 6-inch pin bubble, and then we're going to attack the Pack 40, which would cause pins on that hill and probably destroy the Pack 40. So we would have had a huge advantage in the center, and then that's kind of why I was a little bit brave with some of my stuff. Figured we could rush it when they were all pinned up, and then they would have to clear the pins for a turn, but not so lucky on that. So there, we'll skip ahead just a little bit more. You can see John's half track came over here and turned to put some fire down. He elected to shoot at that. Ryan had a regular squad come in from reserves. We said reserves could come anywhere in the long board edge up until that center point. So they come running in there. So he hits them, does a pin, and kills a couple. So that, because they've got the right flank kind of pinned down. They've got, the Germans have a medium machine gun and another squad with a light machine gun back in that tree stand on the back right, just in ambush. And so I'm afraid to move my Singhalese out. Plus he's got 2 light machine guns in this pillbox that they're still alive. And we've actually cleared their pins. So they've got the cover. We don't have anything to generate smoke, so that's kind of sucky. This would be a great game to be able to plop some smoke down, and they could advance with that. Here my medium machine gun goes ahead and fires. Able to pick off a few more guys, but they're fanatics, so they don't really care that much. John does have a regular or a veteran squad of just riflemen in that half track. I think he's debating on taking them out. But you see our Chafee actually decided to get engaged, moved into the wood stand, and then fired at the Pack 40. Was able to score a hit, and then John rolled really poorly, and he only killed 1 crewman and put 2 pins on it. So advantage to Allied though regarding that. And that, I don't know, I don't know what's shooting at that. Picked off a few more of those guys. Oh, my lieutenant walked up and shot one with his pistol. He had a pistol with a lieutenant with a rifle. And then the light machine guns in that bunker couldn't resist. Oh no, that was a mortar. The mortar was hitting on 2-ups, and I couldn't move. So he just finishes them off, which is okay. Better than him shooting at somebody else, because he actually rolled a 6. Needing a 2-up, he rolled a 6, and he could have pummeled another unit. So this game here, we're kind of short on time. When we first set it up, we thought we have to try to capture these objectives. And so looking at, I mean, the far right was going to be very difficult for us to control. We could probably get an armored car on top of it, but I don't know if it would survive with a couple squads with Panzerfaust. My Singhalese are still kind of just hiding behind that thing there. So the left one and the center one are our goals. The middle one being my Singhalese could try to get to it, and they'd have to fight their way through some veteran Japanese, which I don't want them charging me. But I've got 2 squads there, and then on the left I've got a squad and a squad of Americans to help. So I say just screw it. I run out with my singlees, and I'm actually going to forget the one on the right, acting like I'm maybe trying to get to either one, and I'm heading towards the center. He triggers a couple ambushes. One I knew he had, the second one I forgot, and he's able to pick off a couple guys. That's alright. Taking a full man squad actually gives you a few extra wounds. So then we kind of start picking up, and Bill's kind of got to go. We were going slow, you know, with 4 players, it makes it a little slower. So this is actually kind of a funny part. We say, you know what, let's see what would happen with this airplane, because that was our key, is if that airplane comes in. So look up the airplane rules for flak. John does roll it to come in. We place the token right there in the center thing. So we're going to do a bubble of pins to that and a bubble of pins to the other thing. But you fire flak prior to allocating any pins, if I believe. And we have to roll to see our own stuff to see if it shoots. And John is a veteran armored car with a heavy machine gun pintle, and he rolls a 1. So it fires at our airplane. I'm like, that's okay, dude. Just don't roll like 3 6s. And John rolls like, he rolled 3 hits to the airplane. Maybe it was 5. That's a question for the audience. Airplanes, it says 5s or better. But does it still account for pins and long range? That's an interesting question. But so John actually would have shot the airplane down, which would have been awful. And then we just kind of spent a little bit of time talking about bolt action, and Bill talking about how he's going to get some stuff. And I've been talking to him on the Bolt Action Nebraska page, and he's all in as far as getting some stuff done. We'll probably have a match 1-on-1 where we kind of slow it down, do about a 750 point battle, and I can kind of just slow walk him through some of the process. He's going to pick it up real quick, so I'm not worried about that, but he wants to be armed with the rules, which I don't blame him. So it was a fun little game. There was a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of other games being played at this. We were kind of in the back corner, but it was very fun. I know the game shop is interested in us coming back. They want us to start establishing a particular night, which is difficult for my schedule. But if we get enough Omaha guys into it, we might be able to start setting up like I said, a paint and play where we play once a month or something. But anyway, so it's not much of a battle report, just pushing around a few miniatures, but it's something to have up. I'm gonna go work on a little bit of my display board stuff for Operation Sting. I'm just about done. So if you've seen any of my updates, you'd have seen that. But hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope that you follow along. I'm going to try to get one prep match in against Steve Boley before I go to Chicago. And I am going to try to go to Chicago and win it for all of us. I know I'll have a good time no matter what I do. Me and Ryan do a little what-if assault phase here at the end. And I charge him with about 10 inexperienced infantry. He fires at me, kills a couple. I strike first and I whiff and kill 2, and then he strikes back.